Welcome back, everyone. So, last time we dove headfirst into one of the biggest ideas in German, noun genders. You got to know our three best friends, der, die, and das. Today, we get to do the fun part. We're going to put them to work and start building real sentences. So, you've done the hard work. You've started memorizing those articles, and now it's payoff time. We're going to use them. And to do that, we have to talk about our very first German case. It's a super important idea called the nominative. All right, so the word case. I know, it can sound a little intimidating, maybe a bit too much like a grammar textbook. But I promise you, the idea behind it is actually incredibly simple. Just think of it this way. A case is just a noun's job in a sentence. And the nominative, that's the most basic job of all. The nominative case is really just a fancy name for the subject of the sentence. And what's the subject? It's the star of the show. It's the person or the thing that's either doing something or it's the main thing we're talking about. Simple as that. And you know what? You're already an expert on this because it works exactly the same way in English. Take the dog sleeps. Who's doing the sleeping? The dog. That's our subject. How about a man is here? Who's here? A man. And in this last one, the book is read. Well, nothing's really doing anything, but what's the main thing we're describing? The book. See, you've understood what a subject is your whole life. And here is the absolute best part, the big secret reveal. Every single noun you've learned so far, der Hund for the dog, das Buch for the book, well, you've already been learning their nominative form. It's the default, the one you'd find in a dictionary. You've been doing it this whole time without even realizing it. Okay, so let's start building with our first set of tools. We'll kick things off with the definite articles. This is just our word the, and you use it when you're talking about a specific thing that everyone knows about. So take a look at this chart. Does it seem a little familiar? It should, because when a noun is the subject, when it's in the nominative case, the articles are the exact ones you already memorized, der for masculine, die for feminine, das for neuter, and guess what? Die for all the plurals too. So no new memorization here. Let's see how they look in a full sentence. For a masculine noun, der Mann ist hier. The man is here. For a feminine one, die Frau lernt Deutsch. The woman is learning German. For neuter, das Kind spielt. The child is playing. And for plural, we just use die again. Die Kinder spielen. The children are playing. See? It's a perfect, direct use of what you've already learned. Awesome. But what if you're not talking about the man, but just a man, a general one? Well, for that, we need what are called indefinite articles. In English, that's just a or an. Okay, here they are for the nominative case. For masculine nouns, we use eine. For feminine nouns, we use eine. And for neuter nouns, we use einigen. Are you starting to see a really helpful pattern here? Did you spot it? This little pattern makes things so much easier. Masculine and neuter are identical. They both just use ein. The only one that changes things up is feminine, which becomes eine. And here's a fantastic little memory trick. The definite article for feminine is die. It ends in an e. And the indefinite is eine. It also ends in an e. That little connection helps it stick in your brain. Okay, so what about plurals? Well, think about English. You'd never say a cars or an houses. It just doesn't make sense. And it's the exact same in German. There is no indefinite article for plurals. You just use the noun all by itself. So you'd say Kinder spielen. Children are playing. Easy, right? Now that you've just mastered a and an with ein, this is the perfect time to learn its total opposite. How to say not a or no. The magic word for this is kein. And here's the best news you'll hear all day. It follows the exact same rules as ein. You literally just stick a K on the front. That's it. It makes turning a sentence negative incredibly simple. If you know how to say a dog, you already know how to say not a dog. Let's check it out with a masculine noun. To say that is a dog, you'd say das ist ein Hund. Now, to say that is not a dog, you just swap out ein for kein. Das ist kein Hund. It's a perfect one-for-one switch. And for a feminine noun, that is a cat, is das ist eine Katze. Remember that E ending for eine? Well, to say that is not a cat, you just add the kai right to the front. Das ist keine Katze. That E ending stays right where it is. The pattern holds beautifully. And for neuter, you guessed it, just like masculine, it's a simple swap. Das ist ein Buch becomes das ist kein Buch. The pattern is so consistent, right? Masculine and neuter are the same for ein, and they're the same for kein. Okay, here's a super important little detail. Remember how we said there's no plural for ein? You can't say a books, but kein is different. It does have a plural form, and it's keine. So while you'd say those are books as just das sind Bücher, if you want to say those are no books, you use keine. Das sind keine Bücher. Okay, that was a lot, but hopefully you can see how it all fits together with a really clear logic. So let's bring it all home and put everything we just learned into one simple, powerful cheat sheet. All right, this right here, this table is everything. It's your ultimate cheat sheet for the nominative case. Seriously, take a screenshot of this. Let's run through it. For masculine nouns, it's der, ein, kein. For feminine, you've got that consistent a ending, die, eine, keine. Neuter is a copy of masculine, just with das. Das, ein, kein. And for any plural noun, die, no a form, and then keine. This is the core of our entire lesson, all in one place. Let's just see it one last time, all together using the masculine noun Lehrer, which means teacher. If we're talking about a specific teacher, der Lehrer ist nett. The teacher is nice. Any random teacher? Ein Lehrer ist hier. A teacher is here. And to say it's not a teacher, das ist kein Lehrer. It's such a clean, logical progression. And just like that, you've done it. You now have all the tools you need to use articles correctly whenever a noun is the subject of a sentence. This is a massive step forward, and it's the absolute foundation for building more and more interesting sentences. You have officially tackled the nominative case. Well done. So you know exactly what to do when a noun is the star of the show, when it's the subject. But that raises a pretty interesting question, doesn't it? What happens to these little article words when a noun has a different job in the sentence? What if it's not the subject? Well, that is exactly what we're going to find out in our next lesson. Thanks so much for watching.